Okay, according to my GPS, traffic is looking great. And I think it's because this is a week after Easter. So I think this is like spring break for a lot of people. So, less traffic on the road, so that's great. But back to what I was talking about with regards to my trip. Yeah, my trip to Vegas, and like I said, I took 2 trips back to back, like within 4 months of each other. One with my girlfriends and then one by myself. The one with my girlfriends was great. I mean, there's nothing like you and your good girlfriends traveling together. There's nothing like it in the world. And again, I don't remember what those flights are, but actually, the more I think about it, those flights were pretty reasonable. And when I say reasonable, they had to be in the between $200 and $400. I mean, you might not consider that reasonable, but they had to be in that range. When I took the trip by myself, because I'm not paying for a flight over $400 unless I'm going somewhere magical. I mean, Vegas is magical, but I'm not spending that kind of money on a flight. And these were round trip flights, so it couldn't have been more than $400. Yeah, per person, of course. So anyway, so definitely my trip to Paris was more than that. Definitely, it was a lot more than that. But outside of that, I would say the flight itself was close to $1,000. Because we did a package deal with the flight and the hotel, so that's why I'm not clear on exactly how much the flight itself was. But I'm thinking it was close to $1,000, which that's not bad to fly from the U.S. to Paris, France, direct flight, no layover, stopover, nothing, just a direct flight from Newark International Airport to Paris, France, Charles something airport, straight. That was not bad. So I guess I'm bringing all this up to say, like, was it that the expenses of it all was so outrageous that made it a trip of a lifetime? No, not to me. Not like, okay, so that expense for the flight was the largest expense of anything. But then, the hotel, we stayed at a very Americanized hotel, which was was perfect. And it was outside of the touristy district. Somebody sending me a text. Yeah, so we paid $1,400 for flight and hotel combo, all of that together. So I would say I need to get over. This is when it gets a little backed up. Honey, what you doing? You turning? Okay. Yeah, so I would say if the flight was $1,000, if the flight was $1,000, the accommodations, the hotel was $400 per each, because it was, it was 2 of us. So I guess that's right. Personally, I think we could have got better deals, but I don't think I could have done. Well, I don't know what kind of like layover we could have done, because we went straight over water. So unless we did a layover once we got over there, like in London or somewhere, I don't know what kind of layover we would have had. So we wouldn't have been able to stop mid-Atlantic Ocean. Stop on a, patch of I don't know. Anyway, so I think that was, like I said, we probably could have got a little better deal on the flight, and maybe even the hotel. But I liked the hotel. I really did like the hotel that we stayed at, because it was very Americanized. And yeah. But maybe on the flight, depending on when we went. I mean, I think we went at a really good time. They said don't go in the summer because it's very touristy in the summer. And I don't know that I would have wanted to go in the like winter, because then it kind of takes away from like being able to walk outside and experience the whole culture of Paris with the outdoor cafes and things like that. So I don't know that I would have wanted to do that. Anyway, I'm bringing all this up because I'm thinking, what's next? When they stamped my passport, which hadn't been stamped ever before, and I've had my passport stamped, but it was so long ago, it was that passport expired. So when they stamped my current passport, I just thought of something. I need to do an updated video on. Anyway, when they stamped my passport, I was thinking to myself, wow, I haven't had my passport stamped in years, couple decades, several decades actually. But it was great. So wow, I took this little detour, what I consider my little detour, as if I'm the only one that knows about it, and it's all backed up. But it's all good. Hopefully I still got 45 minutes to get to work. So yeah, I'm just thinking, what's next? Like, more international travel. If I do anything international, I mean, me and the young lady that I went with, we talked about going to London, because we were supposed to, London was going to be part of our trip. We were going to do London for one day, take a day trip to London, but we recognized that was just too much. That was too much. I mean, London deserves its own whole experience. Yeah. So I don't know where I'm going. I'm not a big beach person. I'm definitely not a big Miami beach person. It's just not mine. Oh, sorry. I don't know what's happening here. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. So, not a big beach person. So, going to a beach. My sister keeps talking about beach. She wants to go to a beach, like an island. Nah, I'm not crazy about. I would do. I've never done a cruise ever. Like, I've never been on a cruise. I would do a cruise for the food. I'm a foodie. I'm a foodie for sure. And from what I hear, there's nothing like the food on a cruise. So I would do that. Yeah. I would do a cruise. But, but I'm also a city girl. I'm a city girl. I like shopping experiences. Now, in Paris, we did have some shopping experiences. We went to a very high-end mall. I wouldn't buy nothing. I wasn't buying nothing in the mall with the Louis Tiffany store and all of that. Yeah, I wasn't buying anything there. But I don't mind going someplace where there's, a lot of shopping malls, where you can kind of explore, like, different stores than what we have here in New Jersey. And we have a lot of shopping in New Jersey. Like, we are close to New York, obviously. And so we have, I ain't getting behind you. We have a lot of shopping. We have a lot of shopping malls, huge malls. Yeah, so anyway, but that's something I like. I like going to a new mall that I've never been to, and just kind of exploring. Anyway, I'm just rambling, but I'm just thinking about what's next. Like, how do you beat that? And not that I'm trying to beat Paris, but like, where do I go now? I mean, in what, less than a month, I'm going to Atlantic City, which is my little getaway. And I'm probably going, I haven't decided whether I'm going for the day yet or for a couple of days. If I'm gonna, if I'm gonna get a room and stay over, or if I'm just going, because that's what I usually do for my birthday week. I mean, I don't go for the entire week, but I go for like 3-4 days. So I'm just trying to figure out, how do I top Paris, or do I even try? Am I looking to take any kind of international trip anytime this year, next year? My friend who I went with to Paris, she and a bunch of girls are going to Dubai, and they're going next year. And she asked me if I was interested in going there, and I said honestly, I can't think of, at the time she asked me, it was before our trip, and at that time I said, I can't think about anything until this trip to Paris is done. And and I really couldn't. My brain could not wrap around any other trip. But now that we're back, and the smoke is cleared and all of that, and she mentioned the trip to Dubai while we were on our trip to Paris, and I asked her how long is the flight, because our flight to Paris was 7 hours. That's a long flight. you start getting antsy. And I remember coming back, it felt like it was 12 hours coming back. And they said something about the wind current or something like that is why it made it feel so long. But her trip to Dubai, and I think she said they haven't booked a flight yet, because it's you can't book a flight more than a year out. The trip to Dubai is 15 hours. Like, I guess if you're going straight, I don't know how a plane flies 15 hours straight. How does a pilot fly 15 hours straight? So don't they have to use the bathroom? The restroom? I mean, I know there's a pilot and a co-pilot, but what the heck? How does that work? You wearing Depends? I mean, what are you doing? Anyway, so yeah, she said that's a 15-hour flight. And they were going to, like, intentionally do a layover or stopover, whatever you call it, so that they could break up the flight and it wouldn't be so long. But I'm like, unless you break it up and you literally, like, break it up for a couple of days and you get to visit another place, you stay at another place, which adds to the expense of the trip. How do you break up a trip like that? You know what I'm saying? Because if it's a 15-hour flight, and let's say you have one stop, I don't know, let's say you have a stop in Paris, you go into Dubai. I don't know which direction you're going. I'm assuming you're going from the East Coast. I don't even know where Dubai is, quite frankly. I don't know if it's near India, I would think, because isn't that that culture, India? I have no idea. I don't know if it's near China. I have no idea where Dubai is, but it's 15 hours away. So let's say you're going from the East Coast, because I can't imagine you flying from the East Coast over the U.S., around the U.S., and going that way, like going towards California. I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, so she said it's 15 hours. So if they stopped in Paris, if you had a couple hour layover in Paris, you're gonna be at the airport. You just at the airport and you're just able to say you were in Paris, but you're not able to do anything because you got to catch that connecting flight. I don't know, but I'm a person, when I get on a plane, I don't want to like, just take us where we going. Don't stop. I don't like I don't know what they're called, layovers, stopovers, like when you have multiple stops or even one stop. I don't like. Give me a direct flight from wherever to wherever. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on that as far as that Dubai flight. So I'm not going, in other words, I'm not going on a 15-hour flight. I can't imagine how much those plane tickets are. I can't. Yeah. I cannot imagine. I'm not going. I didn't want to be rude in that moment when she asked me and say, oh no. But that's what I was thinking. So I was like, oh yeah, I can't think of anything else right now until I get back from Paris. But if she were to ask me again, it's a hard no. But yeah, the only other place I would kind of like to go to is London. And then, I mean, I need to kind of learn about some other places. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Let me let this go.